A very good morning, everyone. Welcome back to today's session, day 4 of 5-day faculty development program on Stepstone to prepare successful research proposal and publishing research articles in high impact journals. I'm Shobna, working as assistant professor in the Department of Information Technology at Dr. MGR Educational Research Institute. Quote of the day: research is to see what everybody else has seen and to think what nobody else has thought. The quote says the research topic which we select may everyone know, but the innovative thinking which we apply that nobody else should done. So, following with this quote, we are going to have interesting session handled by Sakthivel Sir, Professor, School of Mechanical Engineering, VIT Chennai. And the session is about strategy in publishing high impact factor journal and submitting funded project proposal. And now it's time to give the short introduction about our guest. Shaktivel sir completed his MTech from VIT Vellore in 2003 and received his PhD in area of intelligent robust control in engine from Anna University 2013. His research interested in optimization in IC engine, engine electronics management system, and so on. His working experience started as a faculty in Mechatronics department at KSR College of Technology in 2002 and joined VIT Chennai in 2013 and currently working as a professor in School of Mechanical Engineering. Totally, he has 18 years of teaching experience and 10 years of research experience. His research interest in optimization in IC engine, energy conservation and management, and electronics management system. He is currently working on three funded projects. And also his spirit of publishing 85 research paper including 70 international and national journal and 50 international and national conference. Oh, such a multi-talent person. So today we are privileged to have an opportunity to listen him this morning. On behalf of all gathered here, I welcome you, sir. Before entering the session, a quick guidelines for all the participants regarding the feedback and poll. So we have a feedback and polls. Feedback link will be shared toward the end of the session. It will be provided only in the description box, not in chat WhatsApp group, and it will be activate for half an hour. And we have a poll which will be posted in between the session. So participants is mandatory to attend the poll and feedback. So then only you will get a e-certificate, and you have posed your queries throughout the session anytime in the chat box. It will be answered toward the end of the session. Thanks for the understanding. For the further delay, I will hand over the session to the Sakthivel sir. Sir?
Ma'am, is it audible?
Yeah, sir, it's audible.
Okay. Yeah. So very happy morning to all. Thanks for the introduction, ma'am. I think so. I am here. Glad to hear and would like to thank the organizers and the IT department, faculties and the conveners, and my colleague Professor Joseph sir, who is working in VIT, who referred me for this thing. Okay, and also want to thank all the conveners for giving this opportunity. And regarding that, for past 3 days, what happens? I keep on seeing what are the resource persons are handling that sessions, and regarding that research, writing how to write the research proposals, how to go for high impact factors, and publishing the journals, and writing that proposals and all the things. Okay, it's going very well. With respect to this, okay, I am also here to top up that things with the strategies how to publish the papers in impact factors and how to write a research proposals. That means most probably I'm saying that in the SI indexed impact factor journals. Okay, so with respect to this only, I'm going to deliver the ideas, some of the ideas where we are, with respect to India side, where we are and what we have to do. This is all the things we are going to discuss in the next 1.5 hours. Okay, yeah. So let me can I will share the file. Yeah, I think so. I think so. It's visible for you. Yeah, I think so. It's visible. Am I correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's
Yeah.
visible only.
Thanks, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. So regarding coming to that, the topic strategies in publishing high impact factor journals and submitting funded proposals. Uh, so first thing is where we are. Okay. First we have to go for, because so many guys, so many resource persons for past days, they're given so many tips for you how to publish the papers in the reputed journals and where. There's all the things we analyzed. Okay. We'll discuss the same thing with a different corner, and partly what happens, I'm going to discuss more about where we are, what we have to do, what the global scenario expecting from our Indian researchers. That's the most important thing. Okay. So coming to the first thing is the research articles in India, an overview. In that first, what happens, number of scientific papers, what we published worldwide increased from 17 lakh 17.55 lakh to 25 lakh. That means articles from 2008 to 18. Okay. Understood. So in that, India is the world's third largest producer. That means we are next to China and the US. Okay, and our average strategy is 5.31 percentage. That means we published the 5.31 percentage of science engineering articles when compared to China and the US. Okay, uh, so if you take a US and China, okay, so yes, US and China is good in science and engineering articles. Apart from that, we are also one more European Union countries are there. So in that, what happens? We are having 28 countries are there. They are specialized in health sciences. Okay, so but coming to engineering side, China and India is the best, and next to US. Okay, sir. So and parallel, if you take Indian strategy, in 2008, how much papers we published means only 48,900. That means around 49,000 articles are we published okay, in the global forum. But now into those, if we take the last 2 years before the data, okay, we can see that 1,35,700 articles are published in that Scopus and AC index journals. That's only I'm saying about the Scopus and AC index journals. Okay, but anyway, it's very less. Even though last 10 years our articles, the publication uh, publication is improved. But what happens, since we are in lacking when comparing to the China and US? Okay, but and coming to the next is however, regarding impact. So we are publishing this much articles, but what's the impact? What's the impact of our article? Whether it is the scientific index is there or not, it is all things we have to analyze. Okay, so that's the most important thing. What are the papers coming? The Europeans, that means US papers and the European research papers, have the more impact when comparing to the China, when comparing to China and India. But if you take a China and India, China stands first and next to China, India stands second. Okay, that's the thing. What I'm saying that we are publishing the 135,000 article papers when comparing to that last 10 years. It's good, but the impact, what I'm saying that impact is very less. Impact means most of the global scenario, global researchers are not referring our papers. That is the most important thing. Why? Where we are lagging, what we have to do. These are all the things we can discuss. Okay, so that's the thing. India produced 2% of the global output in 2000, but if you come into 2018, it's grew to only 5%. Which is, we can say it's a rapid increase, but what happens when comparing to that other countries, it's top 15 countries, still we are in that around 11th country or 10th country in comparing to the other top layer countries. Okay, so yes, we are in the position to improve the impactful publications. Our publications rate is keep on increasing, but impactful publication is slowly it's increasing when comparing to the publication articles. Okay, that's the most impactful thing here. Yeah. So coming to next slide, we can see that the one statical analysis, that is global share of scientific articles country wise. Okay, so coming to here, we can see that with respect to year wise, okay, we are having the top 5 countries, European Union countries, United States, Japan, China, and India. And we can see the plot is the plot is plotted between the publication year versus share of the world total. Okay, so among that we can see, we can start it from around 2000. That's more than enough. From 2000 to 2018, here you can see India strategy. Okay, what's the percentage of share is only 2.03% in 2000, but coming to 2018 or 2015, the ratio is little bit increased from 3 to 4% only. Okay. Similarly, coming to the top layer countries, European Union and US countries, you can see that strategy. Okay. Anyway, in 2000 it's high, but what happens coming to towards 18, it's slowly decreasing because that percentage is occupying by the other countries, Japan, China and India, where we are lagged in initially. But anyway, we keep on rising, but not up to that level. Okay, but anyway, so the European countries are, that strategy is coming on, that production of share of scientific outputs coming down. Okay. So that's the most important thing here. But anyway, so we have keep on increasing slightly our percentage of the contribution rate is keep on increasing, but not up to that level. Let we have to do so much. Yeah. So second thing is, if you come into that one more statics, it says that, so we, regarding publications, we are having so many types is that. For example, there are so many domains are there. Okay. So first one is health science. Coming to that here, health sciences are there, computer information science. Then respect to that, what I'm applied sciences, chemistry, social sciences, engineering, physics, material science. And if you take that social science, what happens? India's contribution is very less. You can see only 1.48 percentage. Okay. So among that, what happens among the top countries, India, China, and US? I'm comparing only three countries here, not European countries here. USA, China, and India. In that, you can see social sciences percentages contribution of the paper is very less. But what happens in China is also very less. But coming to that US, it's very high. Okay, that's the statics data what's we analyzed from 1996 to 2018. Okay, so all the data we got it from the sources, US Science and Engineering from 2000. That survey on survey is there. From that survey only we identified all the data. Okay, so what I'm saying that here, and regarding one beautiful thing is that you can see that engineering and computer sciences, yes, where we are top. Okay, so if you take a China, India and China, we are number, because we are having the highest priority journals in the engineering and computer information science when comparing to the health sciences. Okay, that is the most important thing. And probably if you take a physics, chemistry and material sciences, yes, we are also, India and China is contributing more when comparing to US. And most importantly, material sciences, yes, India stands first. Okay, so maybe if semiconductors, or what I'm saying that photonics, all the things what the research is happening here. Okay, whether it may be theoretical research or applied research, whatever it may be. Okay, but what happens? More number of research is happening. Okay, and finding alternate materials, starting from the scratch, from automotive industries to some other dental medical applications. Okay, all the R&D and the experimental analysis, experimental validation is happening in India only. So with respect to that outcome only, real-time research only, this much of, that means what I'm saying, 9.32 percentage of the percentage is there in India. Okay, yeah. Similarly, what happens coming to health sciences, automatically what happens, India and China, okay, stand second and third when compared to US. So that is a strategy. So we, India and China is good in computer science and engineering science related articles, publishing articles on the global scenario. Okay, next to that, what happens? We can take the physics, chemistry, material science. It's keep on improving when comparing to last 10 years. It's keep on improving. And this is average thing only, but it's keep on improving. But next 5 years, what's the survey saying? That we can find a drastical changes in the percentage of share in India and China. And but still we are lagging when comparing to China. Why? Okay, that's the most important thing. Okay, so anyway, if you take India and China, both the countries having what happens, equal population is there. But what happens still, how much research is going on in China, how much research going in India? So what's the turn, what's the outcome of the research? Okay, if we can see all the things in the forthcoming slide. So from this slide, we can identify that okay, India is also one of the emerging country to publish scientific articles with respect to the engineering and computer sciences. Yeah. And coming to the next is next slide is potential analysis health sciences. As I already clearly said that this graph is plotted between the specification index. That means what I'm saying that if we categorize journals, Scopus indexed and SC indexed, what happens? We can say this is a analysis above that. Okay, what I'm saying, the respect to this side, okay, below this side, below this margin line, we can say that it's a lower level, and right side it's a higher level. Okay, so what happens below the level of AC index, below the level of above the level of AC index? That means it's quality. it's a quality of the journal. What I'm saying that SC index journal means, for example, we can having categorized into Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Okay, as like that we can categorize. But anyway, even though if you have good impact factor, if it's a Q1 or Q2 journal, then what happens? Your papers will be referred by the global researchers. Sir, I'm having 5 impact factor, but that's coming under Q4 ranking. We will discuss all the things in forthcoming slides. Okay, what in the Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Okay, even though if you publish a journal with a good impact factor, but that's coming under Q4 ranking, then what happens? Your paper will not be referred, will not be cited by the other researchers. That is the most important thing. Okay, so your paper have to be cited. That's then only they came to know this type of research is happening in India. Okay, whether it may be collaborative research or national collaboration, international collaboration, whatever it may be. Okay, and they identified some of the defined outcomes. That outcomes will be useful for further research. As like that, what happens? That should be diagnosed in that, what I'm saying, that in the global forum. So what I'm saying, this side below this is a margin line, vertical line. Left side, what happens? We can say that this is a below level. This is a quality level. Okay, and coming to that horizontal side, we are in the scientific influence. Okay, so many guys publishing the papers. What I'm saying that whether there is any novelty is there, scientific novelty is there, whether it's going to be useful for researchers, when you properly addressed not, when you are we giving any defined outcome for the society or for the researchers or for the industries. Okay, so that should be there always. Otherwise, what I'm saying that if you know any optimization tools, just you can apply the algorithms or some other structure, some other optimization networks or some other algorithms, and we can take the data and we can compare the data and say that my result is best. That is one of the research. What I'm saying that, but if you develop some algorithm and apply that algorithm, or whatever the algorithm is that, you can tune the algorithm and try to say that with respect to tuning, I get the defined outcome. Okay, that is something beautiful. Okay, so what I'm saying that we need that type of scientific, that means some novelty should be there in your research. So that's the thing, we can categorize it into two sides. Okay, yes, below that novelty is not, is somewhat moderate, we have good novelty. So if we take this strategy, we can see that, okay, respect to health sciences, okay, all the European countries including US also stands best because they're publishing good quality journals and the novelty is also good. Okay, but if you take China and India, for example, if you take India, so India is, okay, so novelty is not there. Most of the journals, I'm not criticizing all the things, most of the journals. Okay, so most of the researchers, what happens, what they're publishing the journals in that different forums, it's okay, the novelty is not up to that level, it's somewhat moderate. Okay, and the parallel quality is also somewhat moderate, it's not up to that international level. That's the thing. So we have to compare with the international scenario always. So where we are in means still we have to improve in the health sciences. Okay, but coming to the next, we can see that computer information sciences. Okay, so automatically what happens? Yeah, we can see the better improvement with respect to India side. Okay, so yes, so still, but we are lagging in novelty. Scientific influence is very less. But what happens? But we are publishing the journals in the essay index. That means good quality journals. But in that, even though published, what I'm saying that novelty is somewhat improved, but still we have to improve. Okay, still we are in below that line only. Okay, but if you take the other European countries, yes, you can take other European countries. What happens? The novelty is good, but they're not publishing the good quality journals. The novelty is somewhat little bit reducing when comparing to the health sciences. It's a little bit reducing. Okay, I'm accepting that it's a little bit reducing, but what happens? Still, the novelty is there. Okay, so why? So why this problem is there? Even though China is better when compared to India, why means yeah. So the China's publications too high, and probably what happens? We can discuss why, how many research is happening. Okay, and most of the, if you take the European countries, most of, because always research publications always have to correlate to that funded things. Okay, so if you go into European countries or US, what happens? Most of the funding agencies. So if you take India, we have so many funding agencies are there. Okay, so government funding agencies are there, and private funding agencies we are very less. But if you go into the US and European countries, most of the funding agencies are done by the private companies, R&D companies. Okay, and it's very less when coming to the government side. That means public sector based funding agencies. Okay, so most of the private sectors only funding the, okay, giving the funding proposals. That means funding some projects to the what I'm saying that European countries and US countries, even those China and Japan, all the things. Okay. China is also what happens. Some of more private industries are investing. That means are sponsoring some amount to the top layer universities. Okay, but India is also happening, but it's very less. So when okay, so most of its charity-based funding is there. Private agents also giving a funding to the Indian universities, top universities, and even though in tier 1, tier 2 colleges also. But what I'm saying but that is not enough. Okay, we have to get more funding from the private sectors. And parallelly, what happens? Why this problem is happening means here the development is happening in India. Our R&D sector is very less when comparing to the other countries. Okay, European countries, because most of the OEM companies, for example, take automotive manufacturing center. So Chennai is the hub for automotive manufacturing center. Okay, we can find all the manufacturing companies are there. Okay, but R&D, what I'm saying that the full level executions, the analyzers, modelings on the prototype developments, analyzers, all the things are happening in the foreign countries. Okay, so what happens? All the things are freezed in the foreign countries, and that giving that blueprint to Indian companies, and we are keep on manufacturing. That's the most important things happening in India. Okay, so even though we having a value and all the so many women companies are there, they keep on they are giving more employment to the what I'm saying that Indian Indian peoples. But what happens? Funding you to the government. That means if university people or any other schools, institutions, very less. But anyway, but what the strategy is little bit increased in past 3 years. Okay, and we can see who are the private sectors giving the funding to the universities and top universities and the university colleges. Okay. Yeah, coming to the collaboration side, and this is the most important thing. Okay, so if we want to have collaboration, we have a collaboration. So without collaboration, I am good in my publication, I am good in my research. Yes, okay, but okay, you will not be popularized. Okay, you have to promote your research in the global forum. What I'm saying that next 10 years, what happens? This collaboration is not needed. But at this current scenario, we want to have a collaboration. Then only, what I'm saying that our percentage of the scientific influence will be improved, because last 10 years our percentage is with respect to scientific influence slowly increased. Okay, but if you want to increase further means, yes, we done this type of beautiful research. Okay, we've done this type of beautiful applied research. Okay, so that's the thing the US and UK countries are expecting. Okay, so most of the research is happening in India with respect to that. What I'm saying, that modeling and simulation and theoretical modeling as like that. Okay, so real-time validation is needed. That's the thing they're doing in the US. But what's of the problem is that here, with respect to experimental validation, we're not having that type of infrastructure in India. Okay, anyway, so not in all the areas, not in the sub areas, some most important areas. If you take the material science, yes, we have good infrastructures. Okay, but if you come into the electrical vehicles, still we are lagging. Okay, so our government is saying that, okay, the finance, that means our government is saying that in 2030 and 2035, okay, what happens? We are going to be launched, at least 50% of the vehicles should be the electrical vehicles. Okay, so if we want to go that, we have to develop our infrastructure facilities. Okay, anyway, so what I'm saying that this coming to international collaborations, yeah, if you take it, the strategy to the country versus science engineering articles, you can see that India's domestic collaboration. That means I can collaborate with other university professors within India. Okay, so that contribution is very high when comparing to the international collaboration. You can see the strategy is only with respect to 1996 to 2018. So our international collaboration is very limited to only 26,000. That means we have published the articles with respect to international collaboration only 26,000 articles only. But coming to China, you can see, yeah. So around 1.26 lakh articles are published with the international collaboration. How far you are collaborating in international, what I'm saying, the researchers. Okay. So we have to share our research, what's happening in India. They will also share. Then we can find out where we are and what we have to do. It is all the things we have to. It's needed for further improvements in the research from our side. Okay. Yeah. So coming to the US and UK, always they'll top. Okay, there's for international collaborations and domestic collaborations, because more number of funded research is going on there. Okay, so with respect to that, yes, we'll get a defined publications with respect to international collaborations and domestic collaborations. Okay. Yeah. And coming to the next is what I'm saying that here, this slide indicates the top 1% of cited publication by country wise. Here you can see this graph indicates, okay, so the respect to publication here, what's the index, how much percentage of that means publication is published with respect to country wise. Okay, if you take India, okay, in 2000 it's a 0.14 percentage, but coming to 2016, yes, it's improved 0.70 percentage. Okay, but if you take a US, yeah, it's stagnant. Okay, China, it's improved, but India, it's also stagnant. Its percentages varies from 0.4 to 0.7 percentage. That means our Indian researchers, okay, very few researchers, very less researchers, okay, but don't compare Japan. Okay, what I'm saying that so very few researchers, very few researchers. If for example, last uh, last 2 years, what happens? Japanese Stanford University, USA, okay, they're releasing the okay, they're releasing the top 2% of the researchers, okay, all over the world, okay, with respect to all over the countries. Okay, they made a survey and they keep on releasing all the with respect to citations, with respect to contributions, with respect to the their collaborations, their collaborative partners, how much citations they're having. This is all the strategies they do, and this all the analysis are done it by them and releasing the rankings. Okay, so top 2%, for example, in that, okay, we it's very less. What I'm saying, if you take India, what happened, our count is around 3000 or 4000 researchers only are in that list when comparing to other countries. Okay, so among 2 lakh researchers, 2.5 lakh researchers or 3 lakh researchers, still, okay, we are having only 1%, 1.5% of the Indian researchers are only in that list. Okay, so where we are, so we have to improve. That's the thing I'm saying there. Okay, yeah. And coming to the generic thing, anyway, so the picture is not very clear, but anyway, I'm going to say about the statistical things only. Here, the slide indicates that how many papers are accepting. Just we are publishing, submitting the papers. Whatever the researchers we done it with respect to our literature, what we carried out with respect to literature, we are writing the papers by disclosing all the things. Okay, your methodologies, any experimental analysis, okay, exploratory analysis you carried out, and the results and discussions, and what's your conclusion, what's your summary. Okay, by disclosing all the things, you're submitting the papers. Okay, what happens? But if you take that, not all submitted papers will not be reviewed. You can see, okay, that this is a survey what we take it for in 2019, I think so. Okay, but we can see that around so much of 500 papers, 600 papers in submitted different journals. Okay, this is for only one journal. Okay, in that what happens, we can see, okay, around 50-60% of papers are not accepted, not taken for the review itself. Initial stage itself it's rejected because it's not satisfies the quality of the corresponding journal. This is one of the strategy of SC Index journal. Okay, so what I'm saying that yes, so if you publish the papers, okay, what happens in the SC Index journal Scopus also? What I'm saying that so most of the papers are, most of the journals are rejecting, okay, so your papers. Why means the paper is not up to the quality, okay, not fulfilling that demands, because we can do the some conventional research or some traditional research. At that time, if you go to the journals, what happens, they will go for higher advanced research will be there. That's a problem. Okay, yeah. So, and one more thing is that all the accepted papers will, that means all the initial clearance of the papers will not be accepted for review. That is the most important thing. The rejection rate is too high. Okay, with respect to Indian side, rejection rate is too high, and probably you can see that's one of the strategy in Scopus. Okay, in Scopus in the journal, our rejection rate you can see. Okay, so the respect to this side is in rejection rate, and we can see the how much journals, number of journals are there respect to the month. Okay, so for example, on journals, what happens? We are getting 2,000 papers. Okay, when I submitting the paper just 1 month before, okay, for one SC journal, okay, my reference number is around 2,314. For example, it says that, okay, the month of number you submitted the paper, and your paper number is ID is 2,314 paper. That much of papers are published in this year up to me. Okay, that's it case count. Okay, but what I'm saying that all the papers will not be reviewed in the initial stage itself. It will be removed. It will be thrown out. Okay, by the editorial members. That's the most important thing. Even though it's initial level is clear, that means it's go for the next level. Okay, what happens? It goes to the first level is what I'm edit some peer reviews will be there with respect to the journal. They will accept it and take it to the editor, and editor and editorial members will sit together and find if this paper is suitable for our journal or not. If not, it will be rejected. After that, what happens? It goes, once it's accepted, it goes for the plagiarism checking. There you cleared, then we go for the review. Okay. Anyway, so what I'm saying that, so Web of Science, one survey indicates that, okay, from the Web of Science we identified, okay, so we can see 10 to 12% acceptance rate is that, the remaining 90% is a rejection rate. Okay, so that's the most important thing. So we, if we want, if our paper is accepted in the high impact factor journals with the good ranking journals, yes, it's a wonderful thing. Okay, but that is most important. And partly what happens, we have to address the, okay, what is your novelty, what is the scientific influence in that paper. Once if you address properly, yes, our paper will be published. Okay, nothing will be, so nothing will be out here if you publish the paper in the journal. What I'm saying that nothing is in nothing is out. Okay, we can publish a paper. It's very easy way. We have to address our novelty in a proper way. Okay, so if you take literature, for example, I'm saying that if you take on literature in one paper, okay, so when I posted the paper and the papers went for review, okay, the reviewers asked, one of the reviewers asked, okay, oh, so you have said that this much accuracy you got it from this classifier, for example. Uh, can you say what's a percentage, what's a classifier accuracy of the previous researchers? So why not you can address this thing? So yes, I am addressed the researchers, previous researchers, what's carried out the research in from that side, but I'm not addressed that quantitative data. Okay, they're asking that just you address the data, and with respect to that, you can say where you are. So I compared this is accuracy what I got it with respect to this researchers, but they asked each and every classifier accuracy what the researchers got it and where you are and how we got it. This is the thing they're expecting. Okay. Yeah. So coming to the next thing is, we can see that here uh, the slide indicates acceptance rate and the rejection rate. Here you can see initial rejection itself 55%. Okay, that's one of the paper from elsewhere. Okay, I cannot. It's a confidential thing. You can see the initial rejection is 55%. Rejection after peer reviews 35%. Okay, and even it's rejected. Even though coming to the next 10%, so among the 10%, two papers are okay highly accepted. This paper coming to that year, what happens? 5% is minor revision, then 3% is major revision. Major revision means you have to repeat the experiments. Okay, most probably, okay, the reviewers lost to repeat the experiments and try to go for one time with the, again validation with respect to the experiments. Okay, so here major experiments, major revision, minor revision, and immediate accepted. So in that 3%, among one, that's a chance of 1.5% papers will be rejected. Okay, so totally what happens? 8 to 9% of the papers only is accepted in the quality journals. Okay, so yeah, coming to that, this is the last survey as per the research side. Coming to the next thing is, so we have to compare with where we are. India as per the big countries. Okay, so the big countries means what I'm saying that Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Okay, so among that you can see China stands first. Here you can see the researcher population is 1.67 million population is there. Among that, the turnover is 2.8 publication, 2.8 billions of publications is journals are publishing. Okay, so researcher population 1.67%. Okay, but coming to India, you can see 0.43 researcher population is there. Okay, 0.43 millions of researchers are there. Among this 0.48 researchers, that means 0.48 millions of publications there. Okay, so with respect to researcher, publication is good. Okay, but if you take it China, yes, with respect to researcher, publication is good. Okay, but among these 5 countries, India stands 4th. Yes, if you take a Russia, yeah, the researcher population is very less, because in Russia, what happens? Higher education. Okay, most of the people do not go for higher education. Okay, this papers will be what happens. Most of the research papers in India are turnover from that higher education. That means from that PGs or PhD, okay, so or MPhil, whatever may be. Okay, so the most of the papers are published from that higher education side only. Okay. But if you go into Russia, yeah. So what happens? Higher education, most of the Russian citizens will never go for higher education, and probably what happens since they're getting more number of publications. Okay. Okay. If you take a Brazil, yes, 0.18 million researchers. That's a very small country. Okay. But what happens? You can see it's their publications is very equal to the Indian publications. Okay, that is the most important thing. Okay, here South Africa stands last. Okay, so there's all the things indicates that we have to improve research. Indian researchers have to improve the quality of the research. That's the most important thing. Okay. So last 5 years before, if we identify, we can see more number of researchers publish the papers in Scopus Index Journal. At that time, it's very fine. It's good because at the time, Indian researchers, we cannot find we cannot find the Indian researchers papers. We can find, but we can find the papers from the top layer universities only. Okay, IITs and NITs, because the facilities are there. Okay. But now what happens? Now the strategy is little bit changed. Now the most of the private universities also what happens? Yeah, developing infrastructure is equal to the IIT, not up to the full, not up to the IIT level. But what happens? Yes, they're competing with domain, one domain, and what happens? They're doing the research, and the research outcome is they turn into publication. Okay, so most important thing what I have to say is, if you go into the US countries and European countries, we can see the multidisciplinary research. So they started the multidisciplinary research and interdisciplinary research in last 10 years before itself. Okay, so but if you come into India, yes, last 3 years before only, what I'm saying that awareness came to India. Okay. So an Indian government is giving more emphasis on multidisciplinary interdisciplinary research. Even if we publish the funded proposals, okay, so I'm good in material science, and one of the co-university is also good in material science. Okay, so for you, the priority is given as a least priority to you. Okay, you'll be get a least priority, and comparing to that, sir, one of the process working in material science, other process working in that some other, for example, some other manufacturing side or some thermal side. I'm going to take this type of material combination in engines to reduce the emission, okay, to increase the sustainability of that ecosystem. Yes, this type of funded project proposals only considered in the funding side. Okay, funding concern side, funding concern side. Okay, so what I'm saying that we have to go for multidisciplinary research. Okay, so if you want to do, for example, develop a AGV, for example, I'm saying automotive guided vehicle for an industry, that we need mechanical engineers, so with that knowledge, and we need electrical engineers with that circuit knowledge, and we need a programming persons, okay, with interfacing the mechanical systems and electrical systems knowledge. Okay, I'm not going to go for cross disciplinary. I'm asking all the persons sit together and they have to develop the AGV. Understood? So that is the most important task here. So multidisciplinary side, you have to work for that. What happened? The students have to integrate it together with the other band students. Okay, so if we inculcate this culture from the undergraduate itself, yes, okay, you can do the quality research. Okay, otherwise, what happens? The quality research is happening from Indian side if they're going for higher studies in abroad. Okay, so that is a one drawback for Indians. Okay, if we ready to inculcate the culture from the undergraduate itself, okay, after schooling itself, yes, in the schooling itself, what happens? They are going for multidisciplinary. Okay, if you see some advertisements in the respect to the schooling side, we can see that some we are inculcating, we are developing the multidisciplinary knowledge with respect to students. As like that, we can see so many advertisements are there. Okay, so if you go into research, yes, that should be needed. How it's going to be developed? We have to work in the center of excellence. Okay, so that type of culture is slowly developing in India. Okay, if you go into the top universities, what I'm saying there as like IIT, NIT, already the center of some specialized centers are there. If you take the center for data sciences there in IIT, okay, then center for advanced manufacturing is in IIT. So there, what happens? They are bringing all the facilities the government funded in one place, and they're doing all the researches. That means with the experiments. Okay, for example, if you take a scanning electron microscopy, that is one of that equipment. Okay, sophisticated equipment. We want to do some research in the material side, for example. Okay, so that is all in VAT. As like that, so so many sophisticated instruments are there in one center, and all the guys sit together and do the multidisciplinary research. Yes, it's going to be happen. If you develop electrical vehicles, okay, we need a support from that physics person. That means battery thermal management system. Okay, we need a support to trigger the motors. Okay, smart motors. Okay, whether it may be stepper motors, stepper servo motors, and we need a mechanical person to sync that motors with respect to the mechanical links and joints. Okay, steering wheels. These all the things have to be happen. Okay, so for that, already if you go into foreign countries, we can have a couple of, or what happens, we can have a beautiful researchers in the center. We can see the person who is having good knowledge in the physics side, who have good knowledge in that means the battery management systems, who are having good knowledge in control systems to monitor how much temperature is arising the batteries. Okay, so if you come into the mechanical side, okay, yes, one more person is to be there. How we have to sync that steering on, and that means steering link with that motors. Okay, there's all the resource needed to develop this type of electrical vehicles. Okay, so yeah, that's a good thing. It's already, this multidisciplinary is already initiated in the European countries and US countries. Okay, and slowly it's elevated to Middle East countries, for example, Middle East and Indian Asian countries, and already Singapore, yeah, doing the fantastic thing, and more number of research publications and more number of funded project proposals have got it from that center only. Okay, are getting through center. Okay. Yeah, and one more good thing is that if you go into the foreign universities, we cannot find the departments as like in India. Department of Mechanical Engineering, Department of so and so design, Department of Information, as like that. We cannot find the departments. We can find, okay, for example, Center for Robotics and Automation. In that, what happens? We can find that AI in Robotics department. That means programs, okay, automation program, and probably big data and AI program. As like that, we can find the interdisciplinary programs. Okay, so if you study that type of programs, well, anyway, so in soon what happens, India is also going to be fitted with respect to that range next 5 years. Okay, so what I'm saying that if you go for that type of structures of the programs only, what happens, quality type of research is going to be happen. Understood? Otherwise, we are good in one area, for example, good in mechanical side, or you are good in on programming side, for example, developing the AI in machine learning, applying the AI. So not developing is one good thing, applying the AI in machine algorithms with respect to different applications, okay, and getting the performance, and saying that, okay, this much accuracy I got it in the global forum. Okay, last 2 years before it's accepted. Now in the current scenario, it's never accepted. They're expecting some different things. You have to tune the algorithms, develop new algorithm. Okay, for example, what's the existing algorithm? Algorithm one is applied to the medical side. Yes, I got this 99%. But if I applied the same algorithm in automotive side, okay, my accuracy is around 95%. If you take autonomous electric vehicles, still it's not fully successful in the European countries. Okay, Tesla launched on autonomous vehicles, but still that's a problem. Anyway, okay, 1% error is there, 0.01% error is there. Why means that's a problem. Okay, anyway, so they are going for tuning algorithms. That's true. So the proper response have to be very high. Okay. So if you're driving the vehicle, for example, if you're driving the vehicle, okay, and if you're applying that algorithm, and algorithm says that 99.01% accuracy is there, 0.02% error is there, means so the error will text you to make an accident. Okay, that means the system is also going to be damaged, and the operator is also going to be damaged. Drivers and the passengers also going to be damaged. Okay, that's happened in the well-defined cause. Okay, yeah, still the research is going on. I want 100% accuracy. Okay, that's most important thing. Okay, anyway, so to publish the good scientific articles in the journals or magazines, what it may be. Okay, first, what are things we have some things to follow. One is quality. So there's no need to compromise the quality. Most important thing, novelty should be there. Okay, so for example, say you applied one algorithm. For example, some of the results applied some set of algorithms. Okay, why not we can apply different algorithms, and why not, okay, if you get the good results, try to compare the results with that algorithm and say that yes, my algorithm is the best. Okay, so no, this is not a novelty in the current scenario. Then specialties should be there. Any specialty index should is there. Any new things are addressed here. Okay, scientific interest, significance that changes the real-time systems or not. Okay, coming to that, up-to-date reviews should be addressed properly with the quantification data. Okay, that should be there always. Okay, so in the previous last 2 years before, what happens? So in this so and so researchers made an attempt and concluded that as like that we can address in the literature. But what happens in the review? But now it's not acceptable. They're asking that what they addressed, what's the conclusion from them, what's the remarks you identified from them, just to address that. After that, you can address your research gap. As like that, they're asking the literature, the reviews itself asking that, asking by reading your paper. Okay, then correct conclusions should be there. Okay, so simple, your paper have to be simple, precise, and clear, and don't disclose the unproven result. That means what I'm saying, that some results will be manipulated. So don't do that, because if you do it, then what happens? The researchers who follow your research, okay, will take your research as a prerequisite research, okay, and try to do the research in the lab. At the time, what happens? They will never get the results. Okay, they will keep on giving more. They'll confused. This research has got this type of results. Why I not get? But same type of strategy I got it. Okay, I made it in my lab. That means I made it. Okay, what's a problem? As like that, confusion will be there. Okay, so then avoid assumptions, please try to avoid. Then avoid outdated work. That's the most important thing. We don't know where we are. That's the most problem in Indian researchers. Okay, we have to do the proper literature. That is the most important thing. Okay, then avoid duplication of the published work. Okay, that's the most important thing. So now this is going to be avoided by checking the plagiarisms with the journal itself. Okay, and avoid interconnected paragraph. That means that sequential should be there, the link should be there. Okay, that should be addressed properly. That's the most important thing. And original results and methods. Okay, so I've tried in this way. Whether it's right or wrong, that's not a problem. Okay, this attempt is not done by any researchers, but anyway, so with respect to literature, no trace of research I can find out from this type of research. Anyway, I made an attempt. Okay, I got the results. Whether the results are good or not. Okay, but if your way of what I'm saying, that approaching the research is in a different way, it should be accepted. Okay, then further researchers will improve your, okay, what I'm saying, that will improve your uncertainty. That means they keep on increasing the accuracy level from your prerequisite research. Okay, so always what happens, this should be there. Otherwise, what happens, editors and reviewers will be ready to kill you once they get the manuscript. That's the most important thing here. Yeah. So coming to the next is, and we have to identify, okay, the publishers, the journal, that means Indian publishers or researchers also have to identify the suitable journals. That's the most important thing. Okay, so you know where you are, what type of journal you are written. That means already you written. Okay, and it's maybe suitable for Q1 index journal, Q2 index journal, Q3, Q4. Yeah, or it's a multidisciplinary journal. Okay, there are so many new journals are raised in elsewhere. The last 2 years, around 120 new journals are, okay, uh, annexed in that elsewhere, and next 2 years it's going to be have high impact factors, because it's all journals are multidisciplinary journals, interdisciplinary journals. Okay, so that's the thing, good thing. Okay, if that type of journals are going to be get good impact factor, surely they will get more citations. Okay, so more citations for the journals published in that in the new journals. Okay, what I'm saying, that it's going to be referred by all over the global researchers. Okay, then you'll get the journal is going to get a good impact factor. That's most important thing. Okay, anyway, so we have to identify the journal. That's most important thing. First, we have to identify what's the audience. That's, you can say, whether you're focusing for the optimization audience, or whether going focus for the industry persons, or you're going focus for the only the researchers. As like that, you have to focus the audience, and depending upon that, you have to identify the journal. So what's the journal repetition is that? For example, so if I publish a journal, I've done some optimization in ICE Engine, and I want to submit the papers in AI in machine learning. I'm applied the AI in machine learning algorithms. For example, I'm saying that, okay, in my ICE Engine. Okay, so my area of research is started from ICE Engine only. Okay, so I've done my research. I'm applied algorithms in ICE Engine. I got some research, and my papers in published in well-reputed publications just 5 years before. But if I followed the same thing by changing algorithms in ICE Engine and getting the some different results. But even though I criticizing my previous paper or my previous researcher's paper, and saying that I got the good results, that paper will never be accepted. And one more thing, you have to find out where this paper have to be accepted. For example, my core area is in, for example, engine side. I'm applied this algorithm and finding out without this running the system itself, how the system is going, how the engine is going to be performed. Okay, so that paper is suitable only for that core area. Sorry, I want to post this paper, okay, in the AI in machine learning journal, means your paper will not be accepted. Okay, so that's the thing, you have to identify the right journal. That's the most important thing. And you can compare your quality of the paper by seeing the papers published in that journal. Okay, most important thing. So if you try to compare, then yes, you can upgrade yourself automatically. Okay, and probably you can find out what's the international scope of the journal. Okay, and you can see the most of the journals, they are disclosing this is acceptance rate, and you can get the initial results within 4 weeks. So in the last 3 years before, if you submitted the paper after 1 year only, after 2 years only, you'll get a paper will be published. But nowadays what happens, within 1 month or 2 months, your paper will be accepted or not accepted, means your paper will taken for further review or rejected. Okay, you can know the status of your paper. Understood? And if the paper is went for review, from that review date, what happens, the editorial board members will keep on following the reviews for within 1 month. And if you not get the reviews, will have to give the review comments. If not, they'll change the reviews. Okay, so that is what I'm saying, that fast track. So the editorial members will keep on having a fast track to follow the reviews and getting the comments from the reviews. Okay, so that's the thing. The speed of acceptance and publication, that is the most important thing. But still, some of the journals are there. Okay, they have never disclosed what is the acceptance rate. Okay, what is the processing time of that publication, all the things. Okay, and indexing impact factors, rejection rate, is all the things are there. Quality of peer review. There are, you can see in some journals, they will say what type of peer reviews will be going to be happened in that journal. Okay, so final thing is, I'll explain this thing. And coming to the final thing is based on multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, and specialized journals. Okay, because all the things should be taken care while submitting the papers in the quality journals. Okay, and this is one thing. And one more strategy is, if you're going for the SC journals, for example, elsewhere. Okay, even though IEEE journals also, for example, if you're going for IT sectors, network side, so more number of suitable papers will be found in that IEEE only. Okay, but we cannot find the impact factor in the IEEE journal. But Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 ranking will be allotted to the journals. Okay, so if you're going to foreign countries, they will never see the impact factors. Okay, they will see whether the paper is published in the Q1 journal, or Q2 journal, Q3 or Q4. Okay, so they will recognize Q1 and Q2 only. Okay, yeah. So you have to select the journals by studying aim and scope, content innovation. Okay, and what type of article they are going to consider. Okay, and bibliometrics, and whether it's open access subscription. Okay, so both are having some advantages are that nowadays what happens, even though you can find so just 3 years before, 4 years before, you can find these options only in the example, in the well-reputed journals. You cannot find this option. Nowadays what happens, okay, the 2 options are there in the well-reputed journals, even in elsewhere, starting from elsewhere to IEEE, Springs, all the things. Okay, we can find these 2 type of journals, 2 type of options are there. You're having the rights to select your options. Okay, so what is the difference? Yes, we can see. Okay, yeah. So coming to the main theme. Okay, anyway, I don't want to take more time in this thing, because already previous resource persons in respect to last 3 years, they addressed very detailed in respect to this thing. Okay, so anyway, so you can see that, okay, it's like what I'm saying, that if you take a fish, the head and tail is a little bit, it's not most important. Okay, but coming to the main core part is, okay, what happens with respect to that main text. Okay, so the core part respect to, it's the same thing. We are okay, comparing with that research article. This is a core part. What's a core part is what I'm saying, that introduction to the discussion. Okay, so abstract should be needed, conclusion should be needed. Okay, but this is a core part. So introduction, literature review, methodology, results, and discussion. This is a core part. Among this core part, we have several subdomains are there. Certain modeling, theoretical modeling, okay, experimental modeling, experimental validation. This all things will be there. Understood? But you have to address these things properly. In the coming to introduction, we have to address what's a past decade research is happening, okay, and from the research what's not addressed properly, okay, what's unclear, okay, and parallel from this thing we have to say, okay, what we are going to do. Just what is your novelty, what you're focusing, what is your claim. These all things you have to be addressed here in the introduction part. So if it is clear, then the reviewers will accept that, okay, the novelty is there in that research. If you're not defined very clearly in this strategy in the introduction part, then what happens, by seeing the introduction itself, what happens, your paper will be rejected by the reviewers. Understood? So here the information should be keen and clear in the three ways. What about the previous researchers, what from that what you're going to say, okay, means from that what's the problem you identified and what's your approach, okay, so how we are going to approach and what you're going to do, okay, that is a research gap. Understood? So coming to literature review, yes, so you have to refer all the previous literatures very clearly with respect to quantification data, okay, the literature review, okay, then only it's a supporting for that introduction. Understood? Coming to the methodology, so already explained the objectives from the literature review itself. You said there's no trace of research has happened and so and so. Hence, my objective is like this. As like that, you're going to address. Am I correct? So once if you addressed, what happens from that objective? You have to explain the methodology. Okay. So how we are going to approach. For example, so first I made a theoretical modeling. Second, I made some theoretical mathematical modeling. The same thing. I done it in the software. Okay. Yes. Okay, what's the theoretical modeling done it and what's the software results it's matching, then I am going for experimental validation if it's possible. Understood? So if you explain very clearly like this sequentially, yes, this part will be clear. And coming to the results, okay, so you have to disclose the results. Once I made it like this, once I made it, what's going to be outcome, okay, what's the scientific outcome is there, okay, so whether it may be right or wrong, we have to don't manipulate anything there, don't cook up anything there, it will affect the future researchers. Okay, if it's a novelty is that whatever results you got it, try to disclose the results in a defined way, not a problem. Okay, so you have to disclose the results and discussion. From that you got the results and your intervention is most important there. Okay, so you have to define your intervention. Okay, why this is coming, why not like this, as like that, with respect to results, statistical results or some modeling results. Okay, this has happened due to so and so, this happened due to so and so, as like that. You have to add a chance to address the limitations also, not a problem. Okay, that is a scope for future development for further researchers. Understood? So you have to address very clearly the discussion module. Okay, and finally conclusion, the summary of your all the things what will happen. Okay, so anyway, this is a strategy of the how to write the research article, and most important thing is introduction and the methodology. Okay, once it is clear, okay, the peer review will be accepted. Okay, your novelty is there, results, yes, you get a 5% accuracy are there or 95% uncertainty is there, that's not a problem, but they done a new innovative research. That's the most important thing is that. Yeah. So coming to this year, we can see that some of the sample papers, what I'm saying, what I published in that, it's for your reference only. Okay, here you can see the prediction of CA engine performance, emissions and combustion characteristics using some biofuels at injection time using fossil logic. So when I published this 2016, okay, so this paper, okay, you can see that, for example, here I approach the fossil logic. Okay, so here I approach the fossil logic. Here you can see that yeah, this is my experimental methodology, for example, what I made it my lab. Okay, and parallel what happens, I have disclosed all the scientific things with respect to the graphical analysis. Okay, this is a theoretical part, all the researchers already, so many researchers are made. Okay, done so many researchers, and finally what's my objectives here. Okay, I repeat the same thing, and parallel, okay, I applied that. Okay, just a minute, I applied the fuzzy logic. Okay, fuzzy logic algorithm, fuzzy logic based concepts in the engine. Okay, and I make some models. Understood? And what I'm saying, you can see all the models what I made it in that fuzzy logic, and I fixed it. Okay, and I developed some algorithms, and I validated the real-time system, and some rules are developed. Okay, and I validated the real-time systems. What I'm saying that, okay, and I made a comparison between that experimental and predicted data. That means what I'm saying that I kept some data for validation. Okay, so I made a plot between the what's a data I got it from the model and the real-time data. The correlation or means indicates correlation coefficient. For example, saying that it's very less. That means 0.993. That means 99% is there. For example, as like that, I check it for all the parameters, and okay, it's acceptable. Here only one novelty is there: application of the fuzzy logic algorithm, okay, in the engine side to predict the system performance. Okay, so far the researchers made, very few researchers have made an attempt to respond to this thing. But one thing is that my prediction level, so what's the algorithm, I got it, okay, with respect to that this system is predicted the accuracy level of 99.99%. Okay, that's a good thing. The researchers accepted this thing. Okay, so nothing is new here. Okay. But if I do the same type of research in the current scenario, the paper will never be accepted. Okay, so now what happens, I want to elevate to some other side. Okay, fusion of hybrid algorithms. Since I'm getting 99%, for example, why not I can go for fusing two algorithms. Okay, maybe some other classifiers, some other genetic algorithm with the DNA, and as like the hybrid algorithms. Okay, and I have to apply this, and I have to identify what's the performance is there. Okay, so that's a good thing. Okay, as like that, if you come into that, sorry, yeah. So coming to that, next thing is one more thing is CA engine performance modeling using hybrid MCM technique. This is one more beautiful technique. This is here I can say this is a multidisciplinary concept based paper. Okay, it's a MCM means multiple criteria decision making techniques. It's one of the industrial engineering techniques. Okay, so what's used for in the different applications? So far it's not used in the ICE engine side. Okay, so what happens? Why not? Okay, that means I made a survey with the stakeholders, with the industry persons. Okay, and the real time persons who worked who are operating the cars, and probably the research scientists. Okay, so research scientist means the research engineers working in the R&D labs. Okay, let's put the engine side. So we sit together and made on and identified on some of the survey. We done some surveys. With respect to surveys, we applied this multi-criteria decision-making algorithms. Okay, this algorithm, we can say this algorithm, our technique. Okay, in the engines, and we got the results. Okay, so that result is something matching with the real-time systems. Okay, so what happens? It's accepted in the global forum. It is a multidisciplinary journal because I'm bringing the industrial engineering concepts here in the engine, understood, and I'm developing some, identifying some results. Okay. Whether it's useful for the researchers or not, but it's a new concept. It's a novel concept. Okay, then it's accepted. And coming to next is, you can see here, it's one type of research. What I'm saying that I go for conventional research, I went for multidisciplinary research, and this is one type of research. Just a minute. Arigiran sir. Sorry for the. So another type of research is happening is pure mathematical research. Okay. Here what you can see, this is also, for example, we are combined with the mathematical professors. We developed some codings in the MATLAB. Since we are developing MATLAB, we developed, that means I developed the codings in MATLAB. Let's put e-transfer. They are working in the e-transfer. Mathematical guys developed some algorithms, developed some theoretical computations, and we developed the same thing with the mathematical modeling in the MATLAB, and it's fantastically working. Okay, and we taken this to the journal level, and it's accepted. Okay, so as like it's purely deals with that theoretical evaluation. That means what I'm theoretical modeling and the experiment and the mathematical modeling. That means modeling in the software. And coming to the last thing is, okay, you can see one of the paper which is published in IEEE, which is having good impact factors, and this is a Q1 index journals. Okay, so what I'm saying that application of AI to monitor the brakes using vibration-based statical learning. Okay, so here what I'm saying that if you refer to the previous papers, the methodology is something different. Sorry. Yeah. So if you refer this type of papers, let you can see how the methodology the researchers are experted now. Okay. So for example, yeah, we've done a literature survey and what's the problems identified in the methodology itself, and we done some exploratory analysis, and we identified what are the data. So this is a methodology. This is one about a sub methodology, and from that we identify what's the final things. Okay, so we have three stages: stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, 4. But coming to here, what's the paper shown in the last slide? Okay, they are expecting some different methodologies. Like say, experimentation is there. How you collected the data, and how you taken the data to machine learning, and what's the things you've done it. And okay, we are not disclosing only the percentage, for example, accuracy level. We take it to the real-time implementation. That's the most important thing. Okay, if I stopped up to here, this paper will never be accepted. Okay, I am taken to the real-time implementation, and I find the results in the onboard display of the vehicle. Okay, so up to this, okay, we return the paper and we post it in the several journals. It's not accepted. It's rejected in the initial level itself. After that, okay, why not? We can try to fuse the algorithm, real-time systems, and try to get the display and try to get the real-time. That means model accuracy level in the real-time system. Whether it's good or not, why not? We can make it. We made it. Okay, and identified what's the level, whether it's good or accepted or rejected. Okay, that means in respect to that model what we developed, yes, but you're having only 60% of the things only developed, but it's accepted. Okay, so what I'm saying that now the researchers are expecting, the reviewers are expecting the real-time implementation, not the modeling and simulation. Okay, with respect to it may vary depending upon the domains. Okay, yeah. So coming to that, yeah, we can skip it as. So coming to the next slide is journal assessment architecture. This is already having a knowledge respect to the initial submission is ghost editor, he himself rejected. Okay, and with respect to 10 to 30% of the papers, now about 10% of the papers are rejected with respect to editor side and goes to review. Okay, if it goes to peer review, what happens? 30% of papers will be rejected, and the remaining 10% of papers will be accepted. The minor revision, major revision, and immediate acceptance, as we already seen in the previous slide. Okay, so even the peer review is happened, peer review gives us the, for example, if you go to some other quality journals, among 3 reviewers, 1 review is not satisfied, and the remaining 2 reviews are satisfied. That's 3 years before the paper will be accepted. Now what happens? No. Okay, any 1 review is not given the, is not having the confidence, is not having good result, the paper will be rejected. Okay, so that will be decided in editorial meeting, and probably what happens? Yes, yeah, you can see 20% of papers rejected here. That is the final decision. Okay, yeah, coming to types of peer reviews, what I'm saying that you're having different types of peer reviews are there, but most important thing is most of the researchers, most of the journals are following double blind peer reviews. Okay, but single blind peer reviews is that still it's there in some of the quality journals. Okay, but if you come into single blind peer review, the reviewers can know the authors. Okay, can know the authors, and just 5 years before, if you see some of the researchers is coming from this region, immediately they will reject it without reading the paper. So with respect to this scenario only, what happens? Okay, the authors' identities will not be shared to the reviews. Okay, so most of them, 80% journals will follow in the double blind reviews only, and very few journals are going for the open reviews. That means open reviews means the reviews also know who are the authors. Authors also know who are the reviews. Okay, once you're giving the comments, they can know, but it's very rare. Only 2% of the journals, okay, are following this type of open type of peer reviews. Coming to collaboratives, yeah, but this collaborative peer reviews is happening means it's a collaborative type of peer review, but reviews and done the review. After that, they'll disclose the contents to the authors, and both of them should sit together and improve the quality of the paper. Okay, that is very rare. It's only 1%. Okay, as per the data set, it's only 1%. Okay, blindly they will never reject it. They will have a discussion and say that you have to improve like this. Okay, or you are lagging, or still you have to improve. If you improve, we can accept the paper. As like that, they'll give the comments. Okay, that's a collaborative type of peer reviews. And coming to the third party, nowadays all the journals are of the third party of review. That's a mandatory thing. If you publish the paper, if you post the paper in the journal, okay, automatically intermediate team will there. Before it goes to editor, the team will sees all the things and come back to you and says that your paper is not in this template. Your paper have to change the reference. Reference is not in the template. You have to change this reference like this, as like that. They will guide you. Okay. And if, for example, sir, your English grammatical correction is not in a proper level, if you have to improve, okay, they will guide you, okay, to the third layer concern. And if you approach, you have to pay and you have to do the correction. Okay. So as like that, so many things are there. This third party review, that's a mandatory in all the journals. Coming to post publication, okay, once if you publish the papers, understood. So once you publish the papers in the common forum, okay, what happens? Some of the reviewers, some of the reviewers, some of the readers who are seeing your paper, okay, what happens? They'll give the open comments. They'll give the reviews, okay, to the editors. Okay, for example, if some of the research publish same type of papers, they will send the comments to the editors. Okay, this type of research already accepted just 1 year before, 6 months before. They give some critical comments to you, editors, and sometimes this will come back to the research persons whose paper is already accepted, and they will say paper will be rejected, or they will see the comments, don't do like this, as like that. There will come some valuable comments to the researchers. And coming to one is cascading. That's the most important thing. Okay, it's arrived just 2 years before. If you post the paper in one journal, okay, and the journals find it's not suitable, and will forward the paper, they themselves send the mail to you. This paper is suitable for this journal and this journal. Again, okay, if yes, if you say yes, we himself direct the paper to journal. If not, yes, okay, it's up to you. As like that, they will say. Okay. All the type of the first major 4 types of single blind, double blind, open, and collaborative peer reviews. You keep on seeing the importance, informative, novel, and ethical. Okay, without this thing, your paper will not be accepted in the quality journals. Yeah, so these are the you have to go for revisions. The most important thing is the revisions. Series sets of revisions. Okay, even though before submitting the papers, you have to read the paper twice or thrice times by yourself and by colleagues and all the things. Okay, or your friends. After that, if you get the review comments, what happens? So, for example, I got 3 set of review comments, and I went for 3 revisions, and finally the paper is rejected. Okay, and finally the paper is rejected due to that. What's the thing is plagiarism report. Okay, that journal is restricted to the plagiarism of 8%. But my paper, what I submitted, comes 9%, and among 9%, okay, 3% is I'm having plagiarism with respect to my papers published, they rejected. Okay, after 3 sets of reviews, okay, you come to the final stage. Okay, they check the plagiarism level of respect to 8% with respect to that journal, it's rejected. Okay, that's the thing. We have to go for series sets of revision itself. We have to see, okay, what's the journal metrics, what the quality, what they are saying, the revision itself. Once the paper came for revision, 50% is accepted by the reviewers. You have to compromise the reviewers with respect to the questions what they asked. Once if you done it, yes, your paper will be approved. Okay, if you're not compromising them, and just you want to showcase something, means your paper will be rejected. Okay, so there are 3 reasons for rejection. Is the science is flawed. Okay, you're not having the proper scientific influence. Okay, your work is not having any proper identity, and work is not up to that level. Yeah. So coming to the next is coming to that, you have to promote your published work. Okay, most important thing is you have to share the research findings. In olden days, what happens? We're not having any social medias. Okay, we're not having any forums, global forums to share the papers. Okay, the researchers have to enter into that. Okay, Google Scholars, or you have to enter into the library access, and you have to find out, enter the keywords, and you have to find out what type of papers are published under the respective keywords. Okay, they have to search the papers by changing the keywords, different keywords. Understood? So now what I'm saying that you have to increase the research findings. Okay, first you have to share the research findings to the colleagues, to the international collaborations, national collaborators, by the social medias. Okay, so once if we share the research findings, and if they find that this is a proper research, the research is proper, the research is any novelty is there, they will try to cite your papers, or they will try to forward to your friends. That's the most important thing. And nowadays what happens, you can create your own research dashboard. Okay, that means respect to that improve the citations, and improve the usage of that, means referring your papers, the global scenarios. Okay, for example, if one paper is posted, automatically what happens, paper is published, automatically it comes. If you open the Google Scholar, okay, what happens? The paper will be cited in the Google Scholar, and if you are in LinkedIn, the paper will be cited in LinkedIn automatically. Okay. So these are things are naturally happening, automatically happening. Once it's automatically happening, who are the friends are coming under you under LinkedIn or whatever it may be, they can see your papers. They can see your papers. Okay, you have published the papers with respect to so and so topics. After that, they will keep on request you. And sometimes, if you can find the global researchers, most of the global researchers, okay, will have the full paper in their research board. Okay, if you visited their research board, that means their individual profiles, what happens? You can see all the what articles published, and you can see the attachment. If you open the attachment, you can download the paper. Because most of the global researchers not having the access to download the paper. Okay, due to that some financial issues in that university. Understood? So maybe tier 2, tier 3 colleges will be there. They're not having the that much of resources are there to download the papers. And what we have to do as an early stage researcher, first we want to have collaboration. If we had a collaboration, that yes, your papers may be considered. Okay. And second thing is, okay, so what is your outcome? Okay, how productive you are doing that means your research. That means how productive are you in that paper. That means what I'm saying, that if in the written paper, what is the quality, what's the outcome of your paper, as like that you have to say properly. Okay. And second thing is well, in the scholar output should be defined properly, and usage. Okay. And Pali, you have to refer your papers to the common forums, global forums, maybe industries or some other what I'm saying, that fine industries and all. Okay. And one more thing is, okay, that's the thing is that how many times the paper is shared in the collaboration networks in social media. If you, for example, if you are a member in LinkedIn, most of the researchers will send a message to you. You'll see the paper, you can see the message, you can see alert message, and some researchers will send the mail to you or raise the request there itself, please send the paper to me. You have to share the paper. Then what happens? They will keep on seeing the papers and find out, and they'll go for further research. Okay, that is the needful for early stage researchers. If you're going for later stage researcher, so what happens? Citation is going to be reflected in your research. If you're not having good citation, what happens? You're not a good researcher. That means if you want to say I'm a good researcher, okay, then you have to say that it reflects in your citation and H index and I index. Okay, so yes, that is a middle stage of the researcher, and you have to publish outstanding articles. Okay, that's the most important thing. If you done this two good things, then what happens? H index will be automatically increased. Okay, your citations will be automatically increased. Okay, so that should be always there. So if you're going to European use countries, you can see, okay, the person who is age at 90, what happens? What are the papers he published just 10 years before? That is the basic research for the future researchers. Okay, so most of the researchers who are working in this algorithm, okay, what happens? They will refer that basic papers. So automatically, what happens? Even though he's not doing the research, okay, citations keep on improving. Okay. So that type of papers we have to publish in the journals. Yeah. Okay, anyway, these are the good things are there. You can see that different types of journals are there. Web of Science, elsewhere. Then what I'm saying, that DOJ, Google Scholars. You can see that coverage is Web of Science is very low. That means science citation index journal is easily never easily accepted. Okay, but the quality is high. If you come into that Scopus index and other journals, yes, they'll accept it, more number of papers, but quality is very low. That's true. And two more important things are there here. Gold open access and green open access are there. Okay. So gold open access means, okay, here we have to pay the fees. That means subscription fees. We have to pay the fees for publishing journal in the author. Public journal in the paper in the journal. What happens? Immediately the paper will be open for all. Okay, there will not be any delay. But if you're going to green open access, okay, there's no need to pay the amount. Okay, but what happens once paper is accepted? The paper will be published after 6 months, and it comes to the common forum. Okay, the digital forum, it takes another 3 months, and it will be never accessed by the global researchers unless if they are having the rights. Okay, that is the most important thing. So nowadays, most of the US researchers are going for the gold open access. Okay, that means it's not indicates that I am paying the amount, the paper will be accepted. It's not like that. Once the paper is accepted, then what happens? The options will be given to you. You have to go for this side or that side. This means people immediately publish in the journal, and immediately what happens, that will be open to all. Then more number of researchers will refer your papers and will cite your papers if needed. That is a more advantage for that. Yeah. And coming to the last slide, respect to the journal side is where you can see one more statical analysis here. Articles and journals indexed in Web of Science and Scopus among top 15 countries. Here you can see left I'm left articles. I'm coming to journal side. Here you can see uh, India stands where 8th rank. So this is the statical data we got it from up to 2020. So what I'm India stands 8th rank. USA stands 1st rank. So in the Scopus and the Web of Science, just put the journals. I'm not saying about the articles, left article, journals. The Scopus 8th rank. But coming to the Web of Science, it's a Q1, Q2 index journals. We standing 11th position. So that's the most important thing where we are. Still we have to improve. We have to come nearby the what I'm saying, European countries. You can see China stands second. Sorry, 6th rank. UK stands second. All the European countries are staying in that, occupying the rank of from 1 to maybe 5. So among top 15 countries, most of the European countries in the US are there. So you're, then coming to the Asian countries, China, India, Singapore is also coming up now. Singapore and Malaysian universities also publishing good, that means quality of publications, the journals. Coming to the last slide. Most important thing is what I'm saying, that Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. You can search in the net. For example, I want to publish I'm doing the research in the energy side. What I'm saying, that just you can go for this reference source, and what happens, you can type it energy. What happens, it says these are the energy journals. It automatically lists your energy journals. Among these journals, which is the first priority journal? Here you can see H-index. This journals, the guys who published this journal is having H-index 108. That means you can see what's the quality here. For example, this is a one table what I'm searching for energy side. Nature review materials. 108. So total documents up to 2020, 92 documents. 3 years, 263 documents. Only 264 papers only accepted, published. So coming to that, citation documents for last 3 years. All the data are there. So, and you can see this is a impact factor. This is the impact factor. And you can see most important thing is Q1, 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 Q1. For example, in some journals having Q2, and impact factor is 5.2. Impact factor is there, but it's coming under Q2. Understood? So, whether some journals will not have impact factor. If you're going for IEEE journals, they will never have an impact factor like this, because IEEE journals is very rare. They will never impact factor, but they are in Q1. In that area, for example, if you take a semiconductor, yes, in that semiconductor, this is a topper journal. Maybe the IEEE journals will be a topper journal. As like that, Springer journals also there. Here you can see this is journals published by the USA. Some are journals published by UK. Some are journals are published by Germany. Some are journals published by India is also there. So respect to material science, I'm saying. As like that, what happens? We can categorize respect to Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. What in by Q1? Top impactful 25% journal or paper published in Q1. That means it never accepts the middle layer of the middle level of the papers. It accepts only the creamy level of the papers who are doing different types of researches. Not upgrading the research. Different types of new novelties are erased, means yes, that's coming Q1. Coming to Q2, yes, we can see less impactful of 20% journal or paper. That means in next two, it comes second strategy. But Q1 and Q2 is a yes. It will give more citations to you, will improve your H-index. We're going to Q3 and Q4, what happens? Maybe it may be Scopus also there, SC index is also there, but what happens? It indicates what that most of the researchers, most of the top creamy layer researchers are not referring these papers, are referring only this papers, because their citations are keep on increasing. You can see H-index very less, because, for example, H-index 84, for example, compared to other 5, H-index 84. But more number of citations are referred by this, more number of researchers are referred to this journal. The citation index is, the impact factor is 24.67, and it stands in 4th rank. As like that, what happens, most of the researchers, okay, if we want to improve, Indian researchers have to improve the quality, we have to focus only Q1 and Q2 journals. Okay. Yeah. So here that I have to share what's the new thing is happened for past 2 years. As already said in the previous slide, you can see that, okay, the Indian, we are happy to see that, okay, very few researchers, okay, are entering in that list of, that means what survey made by Stanford University, okay, who are the researchers, okay, that means most influenced scientists for the year 2020. This rank is already also published in 2019 and also 2019. Okay, so there you can find out here 3,352 researchers only in India is recognized as the top researchers, top 2% researchers. Okay, among the 3 lakh researchers, around the 3.3 lakh researchers, I think so. You can see around 3.3 lakh researchers, only 3,350 researchers are recognized as, okay, from India, okay, as a top 2 researchers, okay, among the world. Okay, you can see so many here. You can see so many samples. These are authors and Pali. You can see, okay, these are the institution names and Pali. This country indicates country and Pali rank. Okay, this is a global rank. Okay, 273. It starts 273, 312 as like that. It goes to 1.5 lakhs. Around 2.5 lakhs rank is also there. Okay, so and Pali. What's H index? You can see H index. What's the citation index? This one citation is there. As like that. Okay, what I'm saying that we can, okay, we can to improve citation means we are also want to be in this list means, okay, we have to do the quality research. That means who are the researchers published here, okay, what I'm saying that most of the research published their papers in the Q1 and Q2 journals, and most important thing is we want to have a collaboration. Without collaboration, if you keep on increasing the citations, that your name will not be considered in this list. Yeah, you want to have collaboration. That collaborator is have good citation, then only you'll also be considered in this list. Think of it. That means wherever you have a collaboration, national collaboration for this much percentage is there. International collaboration, this much percentage is there. That collaborators want to publish the papers with you, with other foreign researchers, with other collaborators, and that citation also have to be improved. Then only, okay, what happens? You'll be recognized as one of the top researchers. Okay, understood? So yes, this is a beautiful thing. We can find so many private universities also there. Okay, that's the most beautiful thing is happened. Okay, and this is a survey released in 2020. Last year also it's list. Last year it's only 2,100 researchers. This year, okay, our strategy is increased. Okay, so we can see 3,352 researchers are there in the list. Okay, yeah. So if you want to do quality research, here you can see we done on some analysis here. Okay, and what's Stanford University is saying among the researchers, most of the researchers are 80% or 70% Indian researchers have done the research with respect to the funded proposals. Okay, what are the research outcome is that they got it from that funded projects. So why I am coming to here is where we are, what we have to do. Okay, if you get a good quality, surely it is linked with that funded projects. Okay, if you get a funded projects, what happens? And if you try to work with the funded projects, you'll get a different results. Understood? Experimental results. Understood? So if you go with experimental results, your papers will be easily accepted. Okay, that's a good thing always in the journals will accept the papers if you done an experimental analysis. Okay, one good thing. Yeah. So if you take over India, for example, it's also one of the statistics where, okay, India is there and what we have to do, okay, to improve that. Okay, if you take that Indian government is allotted, this is the survey what I take it from the Indian Ministry of Finance. We can say we have several departments are there. Department of Agriculture side, Biotechnology side, Health side, Science and Technology, then Scientific Industrial Research, Ministry of Earth Science, New and Renewable Energy. So under that we have several departments are there. That amount is distributed to all subdomains. Okay, and from that we get in the funding. Okay, this funding is allotted to allot the fund for their internal departments and for the external, for example, for the private and public universities. That means IITs, public universities. Okay, government universities. Okay, so here you can see, for example, for roughly I'm saying that for Department of Agriculture side, okay, 78.5 billions of rupees fund is allotted in 2019 to 20. Not allotted means utilized. Okay. Coming to the 2020 to 21, what's the proposed is 83.6 billions of rupees, and the fund is utilized is 77.6 billions of rupees. Okay. And currently in 2021, what's proposed is respect to agriculture side, 85% of billion 0.1 billions of rupees of fund is allotted to the this department, and this department will split the fund to various agencies. From the various agencies, we'll get that means universities and the industries also get the funding. That's one thing, is that industries also getting the funding from this agencies. So that's a problem. What I'm saying that we are getting the full funding. Universities and the institutions and the colleges are now getting the full funding from the corresponding departments. Okay, so if coming to Department of Biotechnology, for example, if you take a year of 2020 to 21, what's the fund is utilized is 23 billions of rupees, for example. So 23 billions of rupees of fund is altered to biotechnology, utilized by biotechnology. In that, what happens? They're giving some fund to the bio incubators. Okay, so if you take India, when comparing to the government agencies, more number of private agencies are there, and they're doing more number of researches. Okay, respect to biotechnology, and they're giving more funding for the biotechnology to the private concerns. Okay, similarly, health research is also same thing. But coming to DST, okay, 90% of the funding, 95% of funding is allotted to the only to the institutes, research institutes, and the other engineering colleges and the health-based research universities. Okay, so coming to that scientific industry research, yes, okay, they're giving more funding to the that means CSR. Okay, for their own development for their own product development, and they're giving from that they're giving around 10% of funding to the research institutes. Ministry of Earth Science, similarly, what happens? Yes, they're giving funding to the universities, but among 20 to 30%, remaining 70% is giving funding is going to the private agencies. Similarly, Ministry of Renewable and Renewable Energy. Now, last 2 years before, this ministry is giving the more funding to the private agencies. Now, what happened there? Now, 50% of funding is diverted to the universities. Okay, that means educational institutions. That's true. So, roughly, I'm saying that in the current financial year, what about 100 billion? So now, what happens? National Research Foundation. That means one scheme. That means it's not a scheme. One entity is identified, and the government is allotted 100 billions of rupees to the entity for next 5 years to encourage the interdisciplinary research. Okay, so in science and technology, social sciences and humanities for various colleges, universities, 100 billions of rupees are there, but among that 80% of the fund is only utilized. The remaining 20% of the fund is not utilized. Why? Means that quality proposals are not in a quality, not in a good level. That's the most important thing. So yes, we are having opportunities from the government itself. But coming to India, what I already said is private funding is very less. 80% of the funding, 90% of funding is allotted from the government. Got it from the government only. The remaining 10% is from the private agencies. Yeah. So here you can see, actually, that is the most important thing. We can see here, we can compare our India to the big countries itself. We can see China is spending 2 point. That means that what's the research expenditure, what they spent it for their and development, is 2.1% of total GDP. Among that, China spent 2.1% of GDP for the R&D sectors. But I start to say that India have to improve, but India's contribution only 0.6% of GDP in comparing to the Russia and Brazil. That's the most important thing. Even though South Africa is also contributing 0.77% of the that means funding, that means there of GDP to the R&D centers, but India's is 0.6. But anyway, what I'm saying that what's a compatible thing is, so as per the survey, US Foundation survey, what they said that ideal growth rate is 2 to 3%. If the allot the funding, that means what I'm saying that 2% of the GDP to the research and development funding, the R&D expenditure. Maybe it's under institutions or some other private agencies. So what happens then? Only what I'm saying that we can grow. When comparing to the universal scenario, that's true. So still we are saying that make in India, yes. But what happens now? We have to develop our own product. just 2 days before, what I'm saying that our cabinet is given the approval. For example, just with one example for the 76,000 crores to boost the semiconductor industries. Okay. Semiconductor domain, not only industries, they said that they're going to give the fund for the industries also. So, okay, in universities and the industries have to work together. That's the most important thing here. Okay, in olden days, what happens? You can see so many funded proposals without the industries, just you're applying it and they got it. Okay, nowadays, what happens? Most of the funded proposals raised by different ministries, what they're asking, if you had a tie up with the industry, already developed some product, already have some proof of concept is there, then okay, you can propose this proposal. Your proposal will be considered as like the researchers. Okay, now strategy is changing. So just by doing a basic research in our lab and saying that I developed some proof of concept is there. Okay, with the proof of concept, I'm going for next stage. So kindly sponsor some amount, means they will never give a funding until unless if you are a good researcher already, if you're having a good contact with that means if you have good publications or good funded project proposals are there. Okay, with that contact, okay, you can get the proposals, okay, without the industry contacts. Okay, you can get the fund without industry contacts. But as for a new entity, what happens, the new researchers, or what I am saying that the new researchers always want to do a good research, means they want to get some fund. Okay, so what happens if you want to go for, if you're going for funding, we have some proof of concept, and that proof of concept, if it's dealt with the support to some industries or some startups, yes, surely you'll get funded projects. Okay, so that is a recent scenario, okay, of the funding agencies. Yeah, so this is a good initiative for the government. Okay, just 2 days before the cabinet released around 76,000 crores, since we are lagging in the semiconductor area because we are depending upon China, South Korea, Japan, Taiwan. Okay, in countries. Okay, so we have to develop our own uniqueness here. So yes, develop. And parallelly, one more thing is that they announced incentives of 2,30,000 crores. Okay, okay, allotted to positioning India as a global hub for electronics manufacturing and semiconductors. Think of it, electronics manufacturing. Just semiconductor displays, for example. Okay, what are the phone displays? It's not manufactured in India. Okay, it's manufacturing in some other countries. Okay, so why not we can manufacture here? Okay, if we manufacture, what happens? Our economy. That means what I'm saying that our purchasing rate is too high. So what happens? Manufacture. If we manufacture, then what the cost will becomes down automatically. What happens? Purchasing rate will be too high. Then what happens? Their GDP. What happens? Their GDP going on increasing. India's GDP is going on increasing. That's true. So that's with respect to that initiative. What happens? Government allotted the fund. Okay, and they clearly said that the fund will be transferred to the corresponding ministry, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, and that ministry will take care, okay, to have a joint research collaboration with the industries and the institutions. I think so. IIT Chennai already initiated just 3 years before. Okay, they are professors with the team, with the industry, with the industry teams, with the industry. I think so. 2 startups with their own professors working with that developing semiconductors. I don't know who's the professor, but anyway, he's working with the photonics, silicon photonics. Okay, so this is the what I'm saying, that incentive supports for companies and the research associations with respect to semiconductors, compound semiconductors, then design company, semiconductor design companies, silicon photonics, and MEMS, micro MEMS, nano sensors, as like that. Okay. Yeah. So coming to the funding agencies, we can see that this is a major funding agencies. Okay, funding the grant for the researchers. For example, Department of Science and Technology, Biotechnology, Atomic Energy, Space, BIRAC, I think so. BIRAC is also there. I think so. BIRAC is not there. BIRAC, CSIR, DRDO, Indian Council of Social Science and Research is there. Earth Science, Tamil Nadu State Council of Science and Technology is also giving the funding for the students and the researchers. Understood. So, but that fund is very limited to 3 lakhs to 5 lakhs. But if you go into the other central funding agencies, they'll give the fund respect to starting from 9.10 lakhs to 20 lakhs to 30 lakhs. It's up to you. Okay. Then coming to the non-government agencies, so many agencies are there. But what I'm saying that in chat is also there. They're regularly giving the funding. Okay. So Law Foundation, Dassault Systems, British Council of India, Ford Foundation, Fulbright Commissions. Okay, these are the guys. Okay, Royal Academy of Engineering. Cast like that. What happens? So many. It's belong to UK. Law Foundation is what happens belongs to France company. They're giving that funding for the research project proposals, which is used for the society. It is used for the society. Okay. As like that, what happens? So many funding, private and government funding agencies are there, funding the ready to fund the projects, but our funding project proposal should be at quality level. That's the most important. Yeah. So this is generic things what we have to follow. Here, investigator, okay, have to propose the idea to funding agency in such a way that the problem should be significant and parallelly novelty should be there as like a research paper, and the so even though if you submit your proposal, okay, it goes to the reviewers means what I'm saying that the person who is working in that area, okay, it goes to reviewers that he will know whether it's possible or not. Okay, whether it's, even though it's not possible, but novelty, that means any new novelty is there, immediately they will accept it. Even though he knows, okay, I had a chance to interact with the scientist, okay, ERDB scientist is coming at DRDO. He said that it's not possible, let he can try. Okay, so what happened, but his problem is something different. Let if we try and we get some results, that results will be useful for our side, our domain. Yes. Okay, and what he said that among the allotted fund of 80% of the fund, which is allotted to education institutions, that the original outcome is around only 30 to 40% only. The remaining 40% of the projects are not, we are not getting the defined outcome. But anyway, what I'm saying that what he said that we have to allot more number of fund, okay, around more number of fund, then only we can improve that productivity result. That's the thing he addressed. Okay, and what is the core strength of the investigator? That's most important. Okay, so since I'm good in ice engines, for example, if I apply the proposal in robotic side without any knowledge, without any prior knowledge, okay, by publishing 2 or 3 papers with my collaborators or with my national collaborators or with my colleagues, I'm applying the project. Your project will never be considered. Right to understand? You have to, your core strength will be good and with respect to your proposal. Okay. So what about your degree? And even though if you crossed, if you done a cross disciplinary, okay, what I'm saying that if you develop a product, if you develop some basic product, say I developed this product, even though I'm ice engine person, I worked in the robotics for past 3 years and developed some proof of concepts, and this is a product what I developed. With that, I want to go for further enhancement of this work. I need some so and so much fund, means yes, that will be considered. If you go for patents or publications with respect to the strategy, it will be considered by showing some proof of concept. Without showing proof of concept, I'm having the papers and patents, okay, that is not more than enough to of getting the funded funds from the agencies. Okay, yeah. So as I already said, so many research guys already said for past 3 years, past 3 days, what are main elements of research proposal is project title, introduction, the review, research design, what you proposed, conclusions, and bibliography. These all are needed for the to apply the proposal. Yeah. So writing research proposal, just I'm quickly refreshing these things. Okay, first one, abstract should be there always. That should be keen and clear. Objective should be there always. Okay, and coming to the introduction, that should be what happens here. Origin of the proposal, why this proposal is arrived. Okay, what is the statement in the proposal, and what is your objective, and what is the hypothesis. Okay, then what is the significance of this proposal. Okay, from that, what you're going to get it, who are going to be beneficiaries, that's most important thing. Okay, so who are going to beneficiaries, and what is the limitations. If you go into the biotechnology side, limitations should be high. Okay, for example, okay, since you're working in the health side or some other side, the limitation is going to be high. But significant, but if you come into the science engineering side, general science engineering, without health sciences or biosciences, what happens, significance is too high. That's true. We have to address that to that level. Okay, that means it's going to be used for society, is going to be used for this type of workers, it's going to be used for this type of industrial persons, it's going to be used for this type of researchers, as like that we have to properly address in with respect to the area wise. Okay, users wise. And coming to the review, yes, we have to address international status, national status, and most important thing is, okay, so most of the researchers, okay, are not quoted this thing properly. What is the importance of this project in the current status? We have to say, okay, India is where, for example, other countries are where, India is where with respect to this stage is where. Okay, if I do this, if I get this proposal, okay, if I this proposal uh, text to where. That means what I'm saying, this proposal says that, okay, India's response to so and so strategy, okay, if we got this fund, okay, this will be helpful to elevate for this strategy. As like that, we have to address the things properly. Okay, for example, if you're writing a proposal for sewage based robot, for example, okay, in India we cannot find such type of robots, but if you're going to foreign countries, many robots are there, many proof of concepts are there. Okay, you have to take this proof of concepts, and whether this proof of concept is suitable for India or not. If it is not suitable, okay, understood. If it's suitable, okay, you have to say this is my identity. Otherwise, what happens? If it's not suitable, okay, this is not suitable with respect to so and so area, so I have to do this. As like that, you have to quote these things properly. Okay, then here also review of expertise available with the proposed investing group. So if you apply individually, it's very difficult. If you applied, okay, maybe within your university itself as a joint collaborator, or what happens if you find joint collaborator from other universities or from other foreign countries, okay, you can find most of the DST proposals with respect to India, Indo-US, India, Russia, okay, or what happens Asian proposals. For example, Indian countries can have collaboration with that all Asian countries, okay, selected Asian countries, for example, Singapore, Malaysia, Maldives, as like that. Okay, so you can have to collaborate, and you can go for writing a proposal. And what's the research contribution of that collaborator? What is the research contribution of you? As like that, if you properly indicated, and we are going to jointly collaborate and we're going to develop this product or this concept, means yes, you'll get a fund. Okay, they are also ready to sponsor the travel fund. You can go there, okay, and sit together and and develop the product, or the guys can come here, okay, and for example, your collaborators can come here, for example, from Singapore or from Russia, and sit together, and you can stay here for 1 month and can do the collaborative research. As like that, for traveling loans, for staying loans, also they're giving the funding. Okay, yeah. So coming to the next is most important thing is coming to methodology of your what's the design you proposed is, so what's a novelty you proposed, it's a qualitative or quantitative. That's the most important thing. Okay. And second thing is how the data is collected. Okay, how we collect, how will be, for example, if you're going for proposed new setup, are we going to collect the data? Okay, are we going to analyze the data? Okay. For example, I want to, for example, I'm saying, sir, if I want to identify the musculoskeletal disorders, okay, since I worked in the occupational ergonomics side, understood. If I sit like this in a chair for 2 hours, what's the problem I'm going to face for next, after 10 years, after 20 years, if I continuously keep on working for 10 years, for example. Okay, so as like they'll, okay, I'm writing the proposal as to write that thing. They'll ask, are we going to collect the data? Okay, with respect to wearables, some wearable devices. Okay, it's feasible. You have to address that issues, and what's the type of material going to use. It will never disturbs that person who is working with the systems or working sitting like this, for example. As like that, all the uh, things have to be addressed with respect to scientific insight. Okay, how the data is going to be collected, whether it be wired or wireless. For example, in olden days, if it is a wired, the funded proposals will never give the fund for you, because sometimes some disturbance will be there, some noises will be there, some what happens, some that chance for offering the persons also. Nowadays, what happens? Wireless systems. Okay, any disturbance. So wireless systems, what type of systems you're going to propose, what type of protocols you're going to propose. There's all the things they're going to check it. Okay, so for example, I'm saying that. Okay, that's the thing. You have to choose the particular methods. What is the limitations and advantages? How we are overcoming the limitations. Okay, with respect to your proposed things. As like that, you have to say all the things. Okay, and the research instruments, you have to explain very clearly why this instrument is better. If you're asking some instruments from the funding agency, you have to sponsor for the so and so instruments. You have to say why this justification should be proper. Why this instrument? Why not? Why you're taking getting the instrument from this country? Okay, so why not this type of instrument is available in India? Because all the things have to be, what's the liability? Okay, understood. Whether it's used for further researches or not. Okay, so you have to address, once I've used, then the future researchers in our institute is going to be used for this. Okay, and with respect to this research, with respect to this research, what I done, what I going to carry. Okay, what happened, that research is going to be nodal center for our nearby our areas. All the resource persons, okay, all the researchers who want to do the type of research, they have to come and accommodate here and do the quality research by using these instruments. As like that, if you quoted all the things, yes, okay, your proposal will be considered. Okay. And yeah, and coming to that, one more thing is methodology, time schedule, budget. So methodology is the most important thing. There we have to identify, for example, you explain some procedures and how the data is going to be analyzed, for example. Okay, there are different types of things is possible. For example, if you go for electronics, data acquisition is the most important thing. Nowadays, what happens, industry 4, without industry 4 based funding domains, that means funding proposals are approved by the DST and the Department of Science and Technology, all the things are there. Okay. So many ministries are, okay, DST, one proposal, I think so, DST, Advanced Manufacturing Technology proposal for us came just 1 month before. In that, what they said, that particularly focusing for industry 4. Okay. So what happens, by sitting in the house, I can operate the machines. Is it possible? I want to identify what's the thing is happening in the system. Okay. And one more thing is that if any fault is going to be happen, that should be indicated clearly, and it have to say why this fault. Okay, so we are not going to propose sensors and data acquisition systems to identify the faults. And once a fault is identified, then we have to develop some concept. The concept have to say why this fault is arising. Where is the problem? Due to vibration or due to some external environment, in our internal environment. All the things you have to address properly in the proposal. Then only the project will be considered. Okay. For example, if you use I'm using this techniques. Okay. The techniques is one of the tool. Okay. To be applied in the data or to get extra the data, whatever. Okay. But what I'm saying, that the core domain should be addressed properly. Then this is a supplementary things. Understood? So the guys who are going to work with the optimization, it's very, very rare. Okay, that means there are some funding agencies are there going to funding only that type of proposals. For example, if you're going for one concern in that my ARDB, Aeronautical Research Society Board, they're giving only funding for the mathematical researchers who are developing different competitions, just for the theoretical evaluation and modeling evaluation. Okay. Understood. But if we come into that, our generic funding, what happens? We need some setups, we need some sensors or some other equipments, instruments. For that, what happens? We need a proper justification, and parallelly, once if we procure, how we are going to overcome the problem. Okay, what's the data? How it's going to be useful for the society, the researcher side, or who is the end users. Okay, so now the end users are, what's the funding is expecting. End users is first thing is for researchers, and major thing is for industry persons. So once if you write a proposal with respect to that end users, that means going to be industry person, yes, the project will be considered. Understood? So for that, one more thing is there, one more added advantage is there. For example, if you had a collaboration industry, and industry will say that, okay, sir, my objective is like this, my subject is like that, let me going to collaborate, work together, and I will take this part, you will take this part, and okay, for this I'm having this type of infrastructure facilities. Okay, for the remaining things you have to support. That means funding agency have to support. As like that, you have to write a proposal. Okay, so once if you go for joint collaboration industries, and the industries also will share the funding. For example, they're ready to sponsor 5 lakhs. Then what happens nowadays? The new funding agencies, okay, are ready to sponsor up to 50 lakhs immediately without giving a presentation. Okay, that's a fantastic thing. Okay, so once new scheme is announced by DST, interdisciplinary cyber physical systems. So without giving the presentation, they immediately allotted the fund with respect to the health science. Who are the professors doing the research in the health science? If having a defined proof of concept, and if apply the proposal to develop that product, means yes, they give them the fund. Okay, that's a good thing. And one more thing is budget. Most important thing is budget and time schedule. Budget, always what happens? What's the instrument you needed, you have to procure, and you have to show some instruments available in our university. And if it's industry collaboration, and you have to show some of the basic instruments available, research instruments or basic instruments available in the industry. Okay, for top up funding only, we need some, for top up that facilities only, we need some funding from the financial agencies. As like that, we have to raise the request for the funding agencies. Okay, yeah. So come into that. I'm going to share some sample proposals for you with the different funding is what I applied. After that, okay, I will conclude this presentation. Okay. So come into that innovation product development. So I'm applied for example, we are applied for different proposal funding agencies. We have written different proposals and we applied for different funding agencies. Okay. We cannot sure say that all the proposals are considered or accepted. Okay. We went for presentation level and from that presentation it is rejected and say that it is not up to the scope of the current scenario as like that. Okay, we get so many that means comments from the reviews. Okay, so by getting the comments we have to upgrade ourselves and we have to keep on identify the literature and we keep on develop a proof of concept with the help of the students, then only we can go for the next level. Okay, anyway, so this is one of the project, what's innovation product development, what we developed. Okay, this is a proposal what we applied for government. And anyway, I don't want to say the things. They asking Siki, what's a innovation in product development? Okay, they asking what's the current scenario. Okay, so any innovation is that? Yes. And what should be the, if yes means what's a technical advancement in your proposal, in your proposed project, and what's economic significance, okay, in the process. Understood? So I want to say what's innovation is that. Okay, what I'm going to do in that, what's innovation is that, as like that I have to propose. Okay, and second thing is they asking very clearly, see, it's a small funding. We are applied for only 3 lakhs, around 3 to 4 lakhs from funding agency. This is that's total for only 3 to 4 lakhs only. Okay, this funding they're asking, it's useful for industrial application. Yes, I want to give justification. I want to give justification. So many industries are using, but this part is going to be used for so and so as like that. I want to give the solution for this thing. Understood? Then coming to the complete specification. For example, I want to give the what's the innovation by saying the literature, source, understood? How many uses are there? Okay, understood? How many uses are there? Where is the problem? So with respect to the problem, I am going to address so and so with respect to some quantification data. Understood? So we have to include some diagrams also, some schematic diagrams also. Anyway, that is confidential. It's a common from, we are not able to disclose this thing. But anyway, what I'm saying that this is one of the project proposal what we applied for innovation and product development. We developed some proof of concepts that with the help of some BTech and MTech students. With that scenario, okay, the call for is that from the Tamil Nadu government. In that, what happens? They asked with respect to this scenario, used for agricultural side and that and domestic kitchen appliance side. So we already, what are things we made in the proof of concept, we enhanced as a proposal, we applied it. Okay. So and parallel, you can they're asking what is the advantage of present innovation over existing technologies. See what, and they're asking what is it useful for industry, what is the unique feature of the invention. This all the things are there. Okay, all the things we have to address properly. Understood? Yeah. So coming to the next thing, and this is a fund what we got it from the private funding agency, Law Foundation Dassault Systems. I think so. It's not opening anyway. Yeah, this is a presentation what I give it to them. What's the problems are there? Once a project is selected, they asked to come for presentation. Okay, so what happens? What's the existing scenario? And what's our basic model diagram? This is already, we developed some proof of concept, but not fully. Okay, with a minimum fund. Okay, and what's a international scenario? Okay, so we are in solar panels, but they're not using solar panels in the foreign countries, in the France. Okay, they use some different concepts. With that different concepts, they increase the productivity of the. That means what I'm saying that solar in the temperature. Okay, the thermal power. So with respect to same concept, why not we can use it for our domestic appliance? Yes, we developed some proof of concept. We worked with the modeling and the theoretical modeling and mathematical modeling. We got the result by showing the theoretical modeling, mathematical modeling. We got the fund for fabricate this setup. Okay, so we made all the calculations. I think so. This calculations are not there, but anyway, we made all the calculations, and finally, what happens? We got it. And coming to the last one is, okay, you can see this is one project what we applied for a technology system development program. Here you can see we applied the funded project with 3 types of professors. One professor from thermal, one professor from mechatronics, one professor from manufacturing. Okay, here what happens? What the LED bulbs used in industry is a heavy bulb. Okay, so begin the LED bulbs, each things are there. So to increase the quality of the bulb, okay, we have to go for some composites based heat sink. There, okay, one process is taken care about that material side, another process is taken care about the thermal, what's the thermal conductivity with respect to the heat sinks, and mechatronics. As I am from mechatronics side, I am taken care to identify, okay, whether how much temperature is there with respect to sensors. I am working with sensors and control systems, okay, and I fuse the concept there, and let we combine together, we apply the proposal. Okay, so it's went for presentation, but anyway, I'm sorry to say it's rejected. Okay, so what happens? The comments something different, but here you can see we got the collaboration with the different companies, Indian companies and the foreign companies. Financial side, they're going to give support for materials, aluminiums. Okay, and this project is ready to implement in the high power electronics company because the LED manufacturers, and ready to test and validate the product. Once it's successfully launched means, developed means, okay, they want to utilize that concept in their products itself. Okay, and one more thing is that one more companies for that they're giving only guidance support. Okay, as like that, so many things are there. Okay, finally come to the last slide, last page. I will show the contribution, what they're contributing. Yeah, anyway, just a minute. Here you can see, here we have to split like this. Okay, first year, this is a 3 years project. For example, we can see with respect to that, so many items are there, so many criteria are there: raw materials, consumables, the collaborative sponsor. Okay, for next first 2 years. Fabrication side, this collaborative sponsor. Okay, you can see the collaborative sponsor is 7 lakhs. Okay, we raised the fund of around 160 lakhs. In that, what happens? 7 lakhs is from the collaborators. DST I need support is 153 lakhs. Okay, so but we also showcased what are facilities we add in our university and what are facilities we added from collaborator side. Okay, anyway, unfortunately we not receive this project. Okay, but anyway, this is a one type of project proposal what we applied for DST. Okay, so what I'm saying that here you can see that research and product development side, innovation and product development side, and probably this also one proof of concept. They need some product. The Dassault system who funded this project, they need prototype. Okay, once they said the prototype is okay, means they'll enhance that prototype into that user-based product. Okay, so always we have tried to propose with respect to the user, that means end users. That's the most important thing. Yeah, and coming to the last thing is we also work with the startups. Okay, we also work with startups. With this startup, for example, Stalin Agro Equipment Manufacturing Company, we went for multi-purpose harvesting machine, and we got the fund of around 3 lakhs from one agency. Okay, so we joined together and we have to work. Already they have some proof of concept and they want some knowledge partner from university. So VIT is a knowledge partner and they're ready to develop in their own premises, and funding have to be taken care by the VIT, and the funding is out to the VIT. Okay, that means institution will take care of all the things, and institution have to give the report to the DST, and that means funding agencies, and okay, in institute and the industry have to jointly collaborate together and they have to develop the product. Once if you apply the proposal like this, 90% of proposals will be accepted. Okay, positively with respect to that side. Okay, if not, means it's very difficult in the current scenario. If you get the template from the DST, they're asking what's a collaboration of the industry, whether industry is collaborating industry or not. If you not, means it will give the least priority. If yes, means what type of collaboration they're giving, only technical support or any funding support is there. Funding support means priority 1. In that, any novelty is there, it goes for review. Okay, so that is the priority they're giving as like the journal. Okay, yeah, I think so. We come to the last session. Yeah, so we are working with the startups also to develop the products. And that's all up to the funding agencies, funding side. And coming to the end of the session is thank you. Thanks to all. And any queries, you can ask the queries, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your clear-cut explanation. Your session was such a wonderful and enlightening session for us, sir. Sir, we have some few questions. Shall I read the questions, sir?
Yeah, please, ma'am, please.
Yes, your first question is experimental research has both kinds of variable. Yes.
Yeah. it should be experimental research should be, if it's there, what happens? Priority will be there. If not, means the priority will be, that means you will be considered as less priority. So most of the researchers, as per the statical survey, what I identified is without experimental research, if we go for some modeling or some theoretical based research, uh, acceptance level is very less. Okay, so experimental research should be carried out. It's must.
Okay. Thank you, sir. One more question. Um, Wait. Many social science journal mention the impact factor as high as 7. What does it means?
That's the thing. What the things you said is exactly correct. The social science impact factor journalists, they say they having some impact factor, and maybe 5 or 6, but it's a local impact factor. It's not a global impact factor. You can see SNP. Okay, that means it's not it's not a properly indexed journal. Okay, you can see that what's if you, that's the thing I've said already said. If you see the impact factor 7 means, go to the corresponding forum and try to type social science journal, just put the keywords, and you can find out so many journals are indexed there. There you can find out Q1, Q2, Q3, 4. Even though if a journal is 7 impact factor, if it's a Q4 index journal, it will not be considered in the global forum.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. And last question is how to identify the citation index of a journal?
Yeah, that you can go for that. What I'm saying, that you can go for the Scopus. You're having a Scopus forum. If you enter the Scopus forum, elsewhere Scopus forum, you can find out they're doing the calculations. For example, how much paper is published in this year, how much paper, and among the published papers, how much papers are referred by the global researchers, and they're doing some citing and they're doing some calculations. Okay, so there you can find out. Okay, as I already shown on PPT, in the abstract indexing slide, there you can see that very less number of papers are there, more number of citations are there. That means citation index should be high for that journal. Okay, so wherever you can find the journal, very less number of papers are accepted, more number of papers are cited from those accepted papers, means the citation will be high. Okay, this you can find it from the elsewhere Scopus forum only.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for your passion and reply all the questions. So we are eagerly waiting for more session from you, sir. So thanks a lot, sir.
Thank
So
you.
now I call upon the Lakshmi Narayanan sir to give the vote of thanks.
A very good afternoon to all. I am T.L. Narayanan, working as Assistant Professor in Department of IT at Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute. There is a quote which says, saying thanks to is more than good manners, it's good spirituality. It gives me a huge pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks fourth day of the FTP on stepstones to prepare successful research proposal and publishing research article in high impact journals. I take this opportunity to thank those who have directly and indirectly contributed for this event and all the dignitaries who gave a great source of motivation. I would like to thank you, Speaker Dr. Sakthivel, Professor in School of Mechanical Engineering at VIT Chennai, who honored in this session with his insight and extraordinary thoughts related to strategies in publishing high impact factor journals and submitting funder project proposal. Thank you, sir. Then I thank our Honorable President, Engineer A.C.S. Arun Kumar, who has been a great continuous support system. I also thank our Registrar, Dr. C.B. Palnivel, Additional Registrar, Dr. V. Silraj, and Dean E.N.T. Dr. N. Ethiraj for this further guidance and encouragement in all our efforts. My heartfelt thanks to my head and colleagues who worked hard to ensure that this event became a milestone. My special gratitude to the distinguished participant, without whom this event would not be a resounding success. Thank you to all.
Thank you, sir. Sir,
Thank you,
one
ma'am.
request, participants ask your presentation, sir. Sir,
Yeah, you can
kindly
share that.
share your presentation to me, sir. I will send to the participants, sir.
Yeah, okay, ma'am. Okay, but you can share
Thank
the
you so
link.
much.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Participants. Sorry. Participants' feedback link will be available. Participants' feedback link will be available in your chat box. So it will be activate only half an hour. So thank you so much for participating our event, and also stay connect with us for upcoming events. We will meet tomorrow at 11 a.m. for the 5th day faculty development program. Thank you so much. So you have any queries regarding the FDP, kindly chat your message in the WhatsApp group. Thank you, participants.